This program is brought to you through the kind support of the Friends of That's What She Said and Taylor Backus Glass. Support BCTV by visiting bctv.org/support.
It used to be great, now it's not so great, but it's still pretty great. Reading. It used to have lights, but it didn't have lights. New with LED lights. Pagoda. Did they really say that? They did not say that. Yeah, they did say that. That's what she said.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of That's What She Said, our bi-monthly, every other Wednesday fun fest. Tonight we're doing things a little bit differently, but let me give you the number to call because we love to take your calls. It's 610-378-0426, or you can tweet us at @SheTweetsToMe. If you know how to do that sort of thing, I don't. I just know how to collect them if they happen to come in. Anyway, our usual panel is here. I am, of course, Jane Street. Next to me we have
Sheila Harrington.
She Who Knits.
Yes, she's knitting today. I changed it up. I know Jane doesn't like my other colors. So.
I didn't care for those springy pinks. I mean, they look nice on flowers. I don't like them on knitted things. That one's fabulous.
Oh, good.
I think it's a wonder of sparkles.
I like this better, too.
Yes. Okay, we'll see there.
Here we are. I don't knit, and I'm Ellen Gallagher.
And I do knit, but not on the show. I'm Martha Richardson.
And I'm Kira Apple.
Is there some project we could get where we could
all
be knitting
That
at
would be
one big
fun.
thing?
Could.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be fun.
On a huge circular needle.
Yes.
And just pass it around.
Fascinating
Twist the
TV it would be.
We'll look
Yes.
into
Correct
it.
all of my
We will look
mistakes.
into it. I always do, Ellen.
So tonight, because at random times all of us have been asked, how do you come up with the ideas for the show? And we thought we'd take a little trip backstage, and so we had our producer and our mentor, our lovely wizard of all things technical and video, Jamie Howard Lawrence, bring his video camera to our breakfast meeting that we always have the Saturday before we tape so we can figure out what the heck we're doing. Well, let's go to that first one and that first video, and this is how we started off. Good morning and welcome to our That's What She Said breakfast meeting, where we come up with the ideas for our upcoming show. So we're going to have a little nosh, have a little caffeine, which we desperately need, and join us, won't you? I have a motion for the table. That we make these breakfast meetings cocktail meetings.
I would actually work.
Meaning we
So I
start
can open the
cocktails at
store.
8:30 in the morning?
No.
Light mimosas, you know.
Well, it would all be more humane and we would all be more focused if we did it like a cocktail hour type thing.
Would be a way. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Yes, please.
Yes.
So I think whenever we can, let's do it that way.
Yesterday we went for our walk, Mona and I, and she flushed out a wild turkey. She just kind of, and the turkey flapped because it takes a lot of wings to get a turkey up off the ground.
That could be a fun topic, actually. Why don't we have like pet update? And you could talk about Mr. Tumnus and everybody could. That's good. That's
25
fine.
pounds and has a beautiful coat.
Everybody has their pets that they can talk
I
about.
hope
so.
Thomas hasn't gained 25 pounds.
He's a chunky monkey.
He's actually lost weight.
Yeah,
How
he
much
was
does he
17.
Well, when we first brought him in, it was like 18 something, but this was after he'd been 6, so he might have actually lost weight too. I knew he wasn't yet 20 pounds when we got him from the ARL. Now he's 17.5 last time we took him.
Okay, and Sheila, we haven't talked about your pets
My
before,
cat.
so you would have to tell us about yours.
He's chunky too. I'm pretty sure he's gaining weight. He looks kind of like Mr. Thomas. He's a little orange cat. He's bad. He eats paper. He eats books.
See that? And that's without the cocktails. But yes, let's first have the update on Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Tumnus was, I don't remember if I actually
that's
spoke
true.
about him on the
Yeah.
show before, but Mr. Tumnus was the Wise Owl Bookstore shop cat. We adopted him from the Animal Rescue League in August of last year, maybe the beginning of September, and had him for a good long while, 6-7 months, and then he just wasn't really acclimating himself to the store as well as I would have hoped, so I brought him home, and then maybe a week after that, he started showing signs of being sick. He wasn't eating, he was throwing up, so we took him in, and it turned out he had a really long undiagnosed bladder infection that permanently damaged his kidneys. So that was really expensive, and he's been in and out of the vet a couple of times, 3 times now in the last month or so. But he's home now. He's on some wonderful medication that has helped him a whole bunch. The vets at Willow Creek were amazing and super supportive and very, very helpful. And we got a lot of help with funds from our customers and our friends, so that was really amazing. So he's doing really, really well. I mean, I'm not going to say 100% because he's always going to have issues, but I think he's really happy, a lot happier than he was. He's doing very, very
That's
well.
so good to
and he's
hear.
lost weight, like I mentioned on the video, which is kind of a plus because he was. If anyone has seen him, they'll know he was a bit of a chunker. So
I love that.
Fluffy.
yeah,
He was
he had a
fluffy.
very rubbable belly. It's still rubbable, but slightly more svelte.
And I should mention that thank you, Kira, for hosting
yes.
our breakfast at the shop.
My pleasure. That was a lot of fun.
And if you would like to, she's still collecting donations for Mr. Tumnus's recovery campaign. If you stop by the store, there's a lovely, which you should do anyway. There's a little canister, and you can help Mr. Tumnus come along. Wait, what was it? How was Miss Mona?
Mona is doing very, very well. I think the message we're going to get here is that pets are expensive.
Yeah, that was kind of our point
They
from last
require
time.
a lot of care.
Yeah.
And when we first rehomed Mona, which was last July, we weren't aware of some of the issues that we had to deal with before too long, but she went through several surgeries. She went into heat. She adopted kittens, which then added additional expenses. But we have now gone from, I'm going to say, beginning of January to May without a visit to the vet. And so 5 months out of 12.
I know how good that feels.
Isn't bad. And as I had said there, she flushed out a turkey the other day. And when you see a 106-pound dog running after a 27-pound wild turkey, and the turkey is flapping as hard as he can, and Mona's running as fast as she can. I wish I had Jamie there to take it.
Yeah.
I assume you weren't connected to Mona.
No, I was not. No, she was off leash at the time. Thank goodness.
And Chooch and
Chooch was just to visit the vet today to get his shots, whatever shots he had to get. It's been almost a year since we adopted him, rescued him. He has gained 25 pounds. He has the most beautiful coat. He weighs exactly 100 pounds now. And
That's really quite a nice increase
it's
from where he had
he
been.
really weighed
Yeah.
75 or
handsome.
73 actually when we got him.
Wow.
And he also, we had quite a bit of vet expense because he had been astray. I have no idea what he was eating, but it has taken us almost a year to get his intestinal problems worked out. And we've finally gotten rid of the problems, his digestive problems, as well as the most incredible gas that I've ever experienced. He would just clear the room. And
Chooch the
got
pudding
that.
hooch.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Now, it's not your pet, but Sheila showed us a little picture earlier of this her friend's cat whose little paw was under the door, which has these little caps on its claws so it can't scratch things. But there's this little white paw with hot pink.
Little fake pink nails.
It's wonderful. But how's your
My cat is good.
You're fuzzy, lovable.
Yeah, he's about to cost me another expense as well. He
Really?
needs a haircut. He's long overdue. He jumped off the bed the other day, hair went flying. He's got like fur coming out of everywhere.
I didn't know cats you got their hair cut.
I do. Yeah, he gets a
Really?
hair. He gets like a little, like a Simba haircut.
Oh, really?
He looks like a baby lion. They give him a little puff on the tail. They leave his face. Like they pretty much leave his face and his tail.
Is he a long hair?
No, but
Like
he's not
medium?
short hair. Yeah,
Medium.
he's fluffy and
Yeah.
he's thick.
We definitely can get him groomed, and
Yeah,
assuming
so
that
what?
they can
Okay.
totally cut their hair.
Yeah.
I need a Floby for my cat who just.
Floby. Oh.
It's like a walking puff of. It's like Pigpen but with fur.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere you go, there's this.
Fur everywhere.
Uh-oh. Jamie's telling me we must move along. Enough with the pets.
But in
go
spite
ahead.
of all the expenses,
Oh my!
we are
Worth
so
oh my
happy
goodness!
to
Yes,
have
I
our
mean,
pets, our
Absolutely.
pets, yes,
yes. I mean,
It's
they
just
bring so
something-
much to your life that.
yes.
But you need to know, if you're going to adopt a pet, that you never know what baggage you're going to have to.
Indeed.
Even with puppies and kittens.
Oh, absolutely.
It just
It's,
happens.
it's expensive.
Yeah. So, what's up on our next little segment of Breakfast Talk?
And,
I've had parents who said to me, hey, they're in your school, that's your problem. You know, he doesn't do homework, not my problem. Doesn't have time, he's on the wrestling team.
Well, you know, and to a certain extent, it is not their problem, it is the child's problem. And it's time for the child to step up and accept the responsibility of
That
his
doesn't
homework.
happen as a gift of God. That
And we
happens
also-
from a parent
We're a gifted
encouraging
child.
it.
That's not how the system's set up, though. The system's not set up for the child
No,
to take
it's not.
responsibility for themselves.
It isn't any
And
longer.
the onus shouldn't be on them.
No.
Because if they were raised from an age to think, yes, you're responsible for this, then it'd be a different story. But
Well, the
they're
broader
not.
issue is that we as a society are moving further away from actually taking responsibility for anything we do. It's all someone else's fault, and so
And in a school,
society's
you
fault.
can't do what you want to do.
There's a topic,
What is that?
the societal abandonment of responsibility.
Tonight, on a very special episode of that.
But with the societal thing, do we want to talk at all about the Boston
I think that could,
marathon?
you could go there.
And how the community apparently was unaware of them, and then the terrible thing that happened in Cleveland.
Yeah, I
and
think
how
that's,
unaware the community was that
yeah,
of what was going
Yeah.
on, and how unaware his family was. And
Yeah.
the
I think that can
Redding
just kinda go
is
there.
An interesting connection, but I
Oh, he was
don't
so
know.
right.
So, of course, we've talked about it before. We will talk about it again, and gosh darn it, we're going to talk about it again now. The release of the inability to take responsibility for anything we do is becoming more and more prevalent in our society. Discuss.
Well, I personally see it a lot because working with a lot of high school students, you know, if something doesn't work out the way they think it should, the way they want it to, without, you know, them being deserving of it, it's kind of like, well, you didn't. They're so very quick to point fingers. You know, it didn't work out because you didn't do this or that one didn't. Nobody ever says, okay, yes, I messed up. I did it, you know. And it's sad because
Sheila, I see that at the college level as well.
you see that at every level, I think.
Absolutely. The
Adults,
students, it's
students.
always, and only a few cases, but there were some very acute cases that I found this semester more than ever, where everything was somebody else's fault. That student that was failing the course, it was everybody else's fault but that student's.
Right.
And although all sorts of help was offered and given.
They don't take advantage of
No.
it. And then are quick to point fingers.
Right.
And I think it's an even broader issue in that all of us as members of society have certain responsibilities to our neighbors, we have to live together within our communities, and I think even that sort of feeling of responsibility is not with us. If there is a problem, it's someone else's fault.
It's a fine line, though, and after our breakfast the other morning, Barry and I were talking about this, and I mentioned what we had talked about. And I said, but it's a very fine line. As teachers, we have the responsibility. It is a requirement if we suspect abuse of any kind that we report it. Sometimes the Children and Youth organization will investigate and find that it's non-founded, but it may actually have had some basis, and then we never know if the parents are going to be even harder on the child than had we not reported them. It's a fine line. But what we talked about at home was when we first moved into our neighborhood, the man across the street was beating his wife. And a few weeks after we moved in during the summer, we heard her screaming, help me, and he was dragging her into he had actually, we found out later, broke her arm. We called the police. Everybody's windows were open. We called the police came in and arrested him. And word got out. We were the scourge of the neighborhood for a while because this apparently had been going on long before we moved in. We were the only ones who had ever called the police.
So they kind of looked like you started trouble, right?
Right,
Like you started up things.
Right.
And this is something that came up at the meeting because there is that fine line of what's responsible action and what's busybodiness. I mean, certainly in this case, yes.
And we knew he was hurting her, and
Yes.
he did in fact break her arm among whatever else he did to her. I'm not sure how it got out. That should have been a confidential call to the police. But obviously somebody from the police told somebody else that we had made
Well, they
the
probably
call.
assumed since you were new and no one had
Right.
ever called that it was
Yeah,
you.
must have
Had to be the new people.
Must have been those people
Yeah.
at 10:02, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I find it really interesting, that whole idea of the lack of responsibility, how much more frequently now in the store I'm getting requests for Ayn Rand. I don't know how many of you have read Atlas Shrugged, but I mean the whole idea of, you know, materialism, the whole idea of look out for yourself first. Don't let the leeches of society bring you down, you know, and it's sort of that idea that, you know, anyone who needs something from you is a harmful thing, you know, instead of like, you know, wanting to reach out and help other people and supporting people who need the help. You know, look out for yourself, and anyone who needs something from you is a leech. You know, that materialistic.
But what I'm seeing on the internet a lot, and I do spend a lot of time there, is that there's a strange symbiotic relationship between sort of a fundamentalist Christian view and Ayn Rand, which doesn't really seem to. It's like putting a square thing in a
I'm sure I
round
never
thing.
meant it that way.
Exactly, because it has been a long, long time since I read Atlas Shrugged. And,
It's come back around.
I think I still have my copy. But my interpretation of it was very different. It was, you take care of yourself first so that no one else has to. That was kind of the individualist kind of point of view. If everybody meets his own needs, then we don't need to have other people taking care of
But
us.
I think the point and what other people are latching onto is that, or not even other people are latching onto, but there's some people that can't help themselves, who cannot,
And
which is
then
why we
that's
have
when
welfare
society-
programs, which is why we
Exactly.
have programs for learning disabilities, which is why we have programs for physical disabilities. You know, like some people can't, and to look at those people as a drain is.
But I don't think she did that.
But
No.
in
that
my
is
interpretation
that
of
is
the book.
being pulled out of it.
One
Let's
of
put
the
it that
most
way.
frightening things that I heard was a friend of mine taught a group of freshmen, college freshmen. It's freshman seminar. The topic she decided would be poverty and education. And part of the semester had already gone by, and they had talked about poverty issues until finally one young girl stood up and said, I'm tired of talking about the poor. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to do anything for the poor. I'm not interested in this. I don't understand why we're spending so much time talking about poverty. It doesn't involve me. That's frightening to me at a college level. Freshmen, of course, are freshmen, but that somebody would actually have said that.
No, I do think we're losing sight of that we're stronger acting as a global community than we are just focusing on ourselves. Yes.
And still we're doing all these required community service projects in high school, which I've always, volunteerism shouldn't be required, but we are now requiring it as a graduation, something to do before you are allowed to graduate. Is it not making the difference? Obviously, it seems to have a reverse reverse effect.
Hopefully it's something they understand as they become more involved. And
Well, as we talk about responsibility, this sort of leads us into our next breakfast topic. So let's hear about it, shall we?
We did it last year. We didn't do it
How
this
about
year.
guns on campus?
Oh.
Well, hey, I get all the bulletins, so I know the most updated about that is that they're fighting it to an extent. I mean, not fighting it, but they're for those of you who don't know, in order to be what's the word? Politically respectful of the Second Amendment, they are looking to or have already amended their rules on campus to allow anyone who's not going to a university event or going to class or isn't an official of the university or blah, 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 blah. Basically random Joe off the street who isn't planning to go to an event or a class can carry a government issued firearm. And that was it. That's the statement that came out. And people were like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, because
Why do we need guns on campus at all? But what they're saying is it's public property. They're saying if you're not there to go in a building and you're not there as an employee, you can have a firearm because that's the law. You can carry your licensed weapon anywhere.
Seems to be up for interpretation lately, but the Second Amendment does say well-regulated militia. And
yeah, did you see that great commercial where the guy walks into the office building
with the
and
musket.
he misses because it's a musket, and then he's taking the time to reload it, and so everyone just runs out of the building? It's really, really good. Our guns have changed, shouldn't our gun laws? Bam!
Indeed.
Well, bam indeed.
Okay.
And I'll take this moment to remind you that the number is 610-378-0426, or tweet us at @SheTweetsToMe. That was the discussion. We learned that I guess apparently now you can carry under certain strictures guns on the Kutztown campus.
Concealed, yeah. I read more about it since
Right.
we met and spoke, but I guess you were always allowed to. First of all, Kutztown's not the first state
No,
campus that
there
has implemented this. They're
four
just the
others
most
that-
recent. And I don't know how official it is because it's still under consideration. They're still looking into it. And Ceballos, the president, has come out and said he doesn't want guns on campus, but they have to honor the spirit of the law, and it is
because
public property.
they couldn't enforce the law to not have them there.
Right.
They can't say that people are not allowed to have them there.
Right. So
There is an age qualification as well. If you are 21 and you have a gun permit, you can carry a concealed weapon, but anyone 18 or older can carry one openly.
right,
Without
it's
it-
the
without a
concealed
permit.
that is
Without a permit.
right. Yeah.
Concealed is the one that's the
been
problem.
publicized.
Concealed's the new one, yeah. That the
That just doesn't make
because
sense.
people then know you have it, so it's not sort of something that can be
Oh, but if it's
surprised.
out in the open, then that's an
yeah.
issue. That's
Yeah.
And then, of course, the question is, they're allowed on campus but not in the buildings. So what happens when you get to a building?
Right.
And there you have your gun.
Yeah,
What
so
are
we
you
have
walking? What are you
a
gonna
quote,
do?
what are we going to have gun racks instead of bike
Instead
racks?
bike racks,
Yeah, I read
yes.
that
The other
article.
issue was government issued. Who has a government issued?
Well, I
It
think
was
I
weapon.
misspoke.
Yes.
I do. I think it was actually a
government
registered,
permit.
a government
But
permit,
I think
right?
the paper used that term too, public, government issued.
Yeah, well, maybe that's where I read
unless
it.
that's what that refers to.
I mean, a
Maybe.
permit
Maybe that's
would
what
be-
that
Sounded
means.
like
I
it
mean,
have
yeah.
to be
Permit
a
would be a
officer-
technically, if they give you a
officer of the
permit, they're
law.
issuing it.
Right.
So
There was a quote from campus security said, if you don't feel safe walking from wherever you live to campus, we will provide you with a ride or security. All you have to do is
On
call the
campus.
number.
Yes.
Well, or from downtown somewhere to campus. He said if they're apparently the question was people who were living in whatever area felt unsafe walking to campus from their living quarters, and campus security
there's a lot of
said,
off-campus student
we
housing
would
that's
be,
like
all you had to
farther
do is
away.
call our number and we will gladly provide that. And I know that's done at Albright too.
And I do want to, sorry.
It would be
Go-
great to hear from the people of Kutztown.
Oh, it would be.
Because there have been a lot of concerns by the people in Kutztown about
Indeed.
various problems having to do with students living in their midst. So
And I think it
it'd
needs to
interesting
be
hear what
said
they have
that
to say.
to think this is a little wacky. You don't have to necessarily be anti-gun. I personally like going out target shooting. Just call me Annie Oakley. We actually had once talked about me going out traipsing through the woods hunting with some friends of Ellen's, which, who knows, could be an amusing little side
Should have
trip.
been there when they saw the wild turkey.
Have to be
Yes.
November.
All right. See, the problem is hunters get up so early. I don't know. Animals, I see animals running around all day. You'd think you could go later, but they don't agree with that. And speaking of animals, can we move along, or do
I think so.
speaking of animals, she said with a gentle segue, roll that next piece of breakfast memorabilia.
Jane, would you like to tell us what is in this?
Oh, in this? I don't know. It's eggs, cheese, Morningstar Farms, bacon. No, not bacon.
Sausage.
Which is what?
Soy-based sausage.
Okay.
And some little potato chunks and what else?
It's cottage cheese and hash browns.
Hash browns.
And it's Amish breakfast casserole, so thematically and geographically appropriate.
Amish. What makes it Amish?
Fresh
I don't know.
chopped Mennonite.
The name.
Is that what it is? Like, what it is?
Let's talk about meat analogs, since we've just eaten some of them.
Oh, fake meat.
Yes. Now, how was it? Did you all enjoy the sausage
Very
and
good.
the...
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It didn't taste like sausage, but
It's served with sausage-like.
It tastes like sausage, just doesn't. The texture's not sausage.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now, there are some people, some vegetarians, who say that's wrong. To eat anything that is an analog of meat is against the whole vegetarian philosophy.
Precept.
Then there are others who say, well, it tastes good, so let's eat it.
aren't
Thoughts?
there many different vegetarian philosophies? I mean,
Yes.
I think you should eat everything. I like
And drink everything.
and drink everything.
Omnivore.
Yes, I believe we were born to be omnivores, but whatever floats your boat, that's what makes the phone book. But indeed, Kira is a vegetarian.
I am, but I'm not. I am an ovo-lacto pescatarian.
Oh, what
so
does that mean?
that means I eat eggs and milk and fish.
Okay.
Not so much fish, but I do eat a lot of crustaceans, shrimp and such, crabs. And that's it. It's exactly what you said. There's a lot of different varieties, a lot of different breeds of vegetarian, and vegetarian's kind of a catch-all term that, usually means a whole gamut of things. A true vegetarian eats no animal products, and a true vegan eats no animal products or byproducts.
And
like,
I was
milk
in
and
the 80s in my wild heyday, a macrobiotic, and that lasted about a month until
Yeah, I
I
don't think I
realized
could do that.
all you'd have time to do is cook.
Yeah.
It's like soak the grains, steam the grains, eat the grains, and then you start again.
Yeah.
And you throw some seaweed on, and it's tasty, but
Sounds exhausting.
it doesn't leave a lot of time in your life to do anything but prepare your meals and eat them.
Got that.
So, any other brushes with vegetarianism here?
I think, actually we did give up meat for a summer, and it wasn't, but again, we ate a lot of fish. It was red meat particularly, I think we ate chicken, but red meat wasn't something that I found difficult to give up. We eat so much more red meat than we need. I don't think I could do without eggs and shrimp and all that good stuff, but
It's bacon. Bacon is the downfall of just about
Yeah, and there's no good
Yes.
substitute. I'll
No.
tell you that right
No.
now. There is no good substitute.
No.
Unless you're on the Atkins diet, and then bacon is something that you should eat. because
Indeed, but that-
fats are not the bad things,
No.
the cholesterol is.
Wow.
The carbohydrates.
and-
I'm sorry,
Carbohydrates,
not
yeah,
the
the
and you couldn't get
carbohydrates
further from vegetarian than Atkins.
than that. Yes.
That's
yes.
like
So
the
there-
exact opposite.
Here's a cow, gnaw on it.
Pig.
Well, either. Just put it around. Let's talk about yourselves. I just cracked myself up.
Do you see this, I don't know, are more of your friends also? Is it something that a lot of people younger than we are?
A certain age, you mean?
Yes,
Well,
that are
yes
going to
and
be.
no. I mean, I wouldn't say so much around this area. I do know, I have a friend in New York who's around my age who is. I have a friend around here who also is like me. She eats just fish. And my mom just started doing it at the beginning of this year, so she's more your
And
age.
feeling very good about it.
Yeah, and well, she's much more of a cook than I am, so she's actually got a lot better advantage than me. And she can make her own food. I make Dallas cook for me. So he makes, I mean, it's great because he won't make it unless it tastes good for him too. So I get like top of the line fake taco meat that tastes just like the real thing. And there's so much
Dallas is a meat
great
eater.
gunk in
if
it.
I've-
Yes, oh
I
my
know
gosh.
he likes his
He would
bacon.
never give up his meat, ever, ever, ever. Ever.
One of Jamie's main complaints about, because when I go to his house, he cooks primarily vegetarian at home. But one of the things he pines over is that in New York, he could find a product called that was baked tofu. And it had different flavors, and you can't find it around here, apparently. So if anybody out there knows
Wegmans?
where one can get a
Of course, that's
package
not
of...
quite right. Wegmans? I would
Oh,
imagine,
well,
but-
Maybe.
we haven't
We
tried
don't-
that. We should
yeah.
go to Wegmans sometime.
Is it pre-baked with like stuff in
What
it?
is...
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's baked, but it has different flavors, kind of baked into the tofu.
That sounds
Oh,
good.
that sounds
So
good.
it's less watery.
Yeah, that's the problem with the prepackaged extra firm stuff is it's just like sitting in water. It's kind of unappetizing.
You had said on Saturday that you're joining a CSA.
I am,
You
yeah.
want to talk a little bit
Oh,
more
sure,
about
yeah.
that?
A community service agriculture, sourced agriculture. So by every 2 weeks, I guess, or maybe it's every week, we get fresh vegetables from a farm.
That's wonderful.
So that's really cool. And that's even more cool because we barely eat any vegetables. And like sometimes we have like frozen spinach in the fridge, but I swear to God, it's been in there for like 6 months, 8 months. So it'll be great. It'll kind of force us to use it, make soups and veggie sides and things like that. So yeah, and we're looking forward to it, and we're splitting it with my mom and stepdad. So we can split the food and each have our own and not have too much.
Have more variety.
Yeah, and
that
it's
sort
just
of
a nice
thing.
way of getting healthy food.
Cool.
I've found out that some of the CSAs also have plans for flowers. Now, to me, that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Oh,
You
that
can
sounds
have
wonderful.
different flowers.
Yeah,
they
they
would
do
grow
that.
all
They do
year
cheese.
long.
They do fruit. I mean, some
Yes.
of the ones out there are pretty cool. Breads, I know. There's one for breads.
And of course,
That's
eggs
wonderful.
and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
So
do you
many
have? Do you
information.
quickly? We have to go to break, but do you quickly have a website?
Oh, I
offhand?
don't.
Okay,
You know what? I'll look it
never
up
mind.
on the break. And,
All right.
and I'll
It
tell
can
you
be on our
afterwards. Yeah.
website.
Yes, we can
Because
post
we
it
do
on
have
that.
that's
That's
what
what
she said
she said
online.com
website.
But for now, we'll take a short break and be back with you on the end of it.
You're watching bctv.org. Be informed, be involved, be a member. For membership information, go to www.bctv.org/support/membership. For other stories and information, go to bctv.org.
Well, that was quick. Did you miss us?
We're still
We
CSA.
certainly missed you. A reminder that the number is 610-378-0426 and @ she tweets to me. Do I need to say the @ sign? I don't know how these things work.
You can
If I
say
s-
she tweets to me.
She tweets to me. All right, fine. I've been educated now. If somebody will just tell me about hashtags, my life will be complete. Our friend Kirk, who he did a little promo for Annie back in
November, our November
yes,
show.
he never stops working. So he's doing now a Cage Aux Folles, I believe, in Pottstown, and we're going to try. It was moderately successful last time, but we're going to try to sync in and do a live remote with him now. So can we switch that remote on and see if it works? Kirk, can you?
Hi, Jane. Yes, we're up here at Steel River Playhouse. Nice to see you again. Audio was wacky last time, so I have the headphone this time. So we're here rehearsing, yes, Jane. Yes, I have hair this time.
Yes.
I was bald for the last show. It grew back. But anyway, we're up here rehearsing Cage Aux Folles, and in this show I play Albin, also Zaza, who's in her own mind, the lead player at the Cage Aux Folles in Saint-Tropez. It's a nightclub, and
what do you mean, he? She?
Yes, she.
She?
Jane. I'm playing a woman, a man who plays a woman.
Why would anyone want to do that?
It's just a good part of Jane.
Seems very odd to me, darling.
How about we meet some of the performers?
Okay.
Swing around with me here.
Swing.
Here we go. We're technically on break, but a few of the performers are rehearsing their number.
Look at those. Men in skirts, how strange.
We're missing a lot today. So,
could you gather?
Do you mind if we pause for a second?
Oh, good.
Gather around, ladies.
Oh, thank you.
So, here we have a few of the lovely men who are playing lovely ladies in our show. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Brett. I'm Troy. I'm Zach. I'm Will.
Could you ask them? Yes. Could you ask them what they think about playing women?
Jane wants to know how you feel about playing women. Are you playing? You're not playing women. You're just dressing as women.
Exactly. Yes.
Indeed. So, got that, Jane?
Well, I suppose.
And over here in the corner we have our fabulous musical director, Deb Snow, and hiding is our stage manager.
That's what they do.
And actually, walking in here is the man who plays my husband. Just follow me around here. This is Rob. He plays my husband, George. Don't we make a cute couple?
You certainly do.
And that's it. I mean, I thank you for joining us. We're at Steel River Playhouse. Show runs June 6th through June 23rd. You can check out tickets and that kind of information at www.steelriver.org, and I'm sure they have some little graphic for you up on the screen there. Thank you for popping up, Jane. I know you have to get back to the show, and good seeing you.
Are you sure that's your real hair? You were bald before.
Yes. It is not a wig. It's my hair.
All right.
Thank you.
Fine.
Yeah. Bye, Jane.
Bye. Good seeing you. There he goes.
Bye, Kurt.
Well.
We should have him on the show sometime.
He should.
Yes.
That would be nice. We always visit him via video. So yes, that looks like it's going to be a fun show. It's a romance, it's humor, it's dance, it's all sorts of things, all thrown together.
It's the show that the Birdcage is based off
Yes,
of, right?
yes,
So
the
folks might know
Birdcage.
that,
So if you,
that movie.
yes, if you know the Birdcage, or there was a film back in 73, 78 rather.
Really, that long?
That long ago.
Wow.
That was the original
That's
that
when
this
I
was
was
based
born.
on.
That's the year I was born.
We'll leave that one go. So now it's time for that inevitable surprise topic. Well, it's sort of a joint topic here. Of course, lately we've heard of these scandals in the military with the sexual abuse and. But I don't want to go there. I want to talk about, in the paper recently, there's apparently lots of nude people up at the pagoda.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I have been to the pagoda many times. I've wandered through the woods hunting morels and whatever. I have never found a morel. In fact, I probably wouldn't know what one looked like if I actually did find one.
They would be nude.
They would be nude. What is this with naked people at the pagoda?
The tower has always, and I'm talking way back, has always been a place where kids went to make out. And would actually double park until someone was had had enough and pulled out, and then you pulled into that parking space. I'm not sure about naked running through the woods. I can't claim to
Is
do
that what
that.
they're doing?
But
Just running through the woods naked?
That's
I've heard that.
I've
read it.
Yes, I've read 2 articles now, and they say they're frolicking naked in the woods. Well, not frolicking. That was my
Well,
word.
it's spring.
It says
Maybe it's
they're
like
running.
a Bacchanalia.
It
You know,
could be. It could be a
fertility
Beltane
festival.
celebration.
Getting in touch
Pagans.
with nature.
Oh my goodness.
Well, let's hope it's nature they're getting in touch with. Anything else would just be disgusting.
No poison ivy, hopefully.
Oh, my goodness.
That would be the worst.
Sometime Jamie will have to tell his story about the poison ivy. He's shaking his head no. It wasn't.
But naked people at the pagoda.
Yes.
But it's actually further up at the tower.
That's
the
true.
Tower Hotel was.
Indeed.
That's just always
The
been
power of the tower.
the power of the tower.
Wow.
Sounds phallic, doesn't it?
Well, it
Isn't it just one person though who has claimed to see naked people?
It is, and
But
you
he's
have to
seen it
wonder if it's
multiple
just one person. Do they just want to see naked
I was
people?
going to say, could it be wishful thinking?
It
or-
could be. It's the
Are they there? Or are they like, binoculars and?
It was a
from a
gentleman, and he
distance?
says he was traipsing through the woods, apparently fully clothed, and he saw
what?
naked people while he was.
He didn't
They
identify.
were traipsing
That's
elsewhere.
fantastic.
It is. I mean,
Is this daylight hours?
it apparently. Well, he saw them. I mean,
But he didn't,
Maybe they have
he didn't
flashlights.
identify gender, so did he? He just
He-
said naked people.
yeah, and
Yeah,
he did.
people.
It was just people.
Yeah, so
It's
Maybe
the
they were
werewolves
wood
after the
sprites.
transformation back.
I'm told we have to leave this subject and go to the next little breakfast vignette. So
we should do a
roll number
video.
5.
Fake diseases.
Oh, is it really?
Well,
It could be.
Yeah, sure.
it could be. We in the 20th century we seem to have to make any sort of little diversion off the norm a disease
label.
label.
Children have to have a label.
And I think we've created not only a label that could be detrimental to folks, but also we've created a huge drug industry around each label that really does nothing to cure, but rather to maintain an illness.
Bravo.
So,
Absolutely.
you think that this could be driven by the pharmaceutical?
It could be, and also people who don't want to take the time to actually accept individualities. I mean, again, and I think it goes to the old back to parenting.
Parents, should you have them or shouldn't you? But indeed, odd is just odd. Why does somebody who isn't a cookie cutter person have to have some sort of label attached? Can't we just be individuals?
Yeah.
On some, I mean, I'm saying not that you can't go beyond these 2 points, but beyond those 2 points, okay. But there's certainly a lot of gray area that I think people are falling into and being labeled as something other than just someone.
And the more exotic the label, the more people like to talk about it, it seems. And just, when we started talking about diseases, I'm not quite sure what's a disease, what's a syndrome, what's a condition, but one of the medical conditions I have is hypothyroidism, which everybody has that, and everybody's on a medication. When I found out that it is also called Hashimoto's disease,
Oh my gosh.
wow, that's really kind of special. A claim to
That
fame
sounds
when you
serious.
start talking about that. I think the labels help to give people some sort of a feeling that they're unique. And we seem to need that.
I think we were talking at breakfast about, excuse me, about labels for children, and I'm very concerned about the many labels that we have now given to children, and I have to say that sometimes I have said it has been a way of making parents feel like It's not their fault. But I would like to say something about parents, and I tell this to my students as well. I really do believe that 99 and 44/100% of the parents are doing the best job they know how. And I think that's important. We tend to find fault with parents, but you know, you may have to get a license or a permit to carry a concealed weapon. You don't have to have a permit. You don't have to take a test to have a child and be a parent. It doesn't come with a manual, and it's difficult. And especially, it's more so today. I'm glad I'm not raising children today. There's so many forces out in society that children are exposed to that they weren't when I was raising children. So in some cases, I think we are over-labeling children. Beyond the labels that concern me, it's the medication that really, with each label comes a different stimulant, depressant, whatever, and that scares me because we have no idea what the side effects or long-term effects of those are.
Indeed.
Having looked into a little bit about the ADHD situation and how prescribing Ritalin seemed to all of a sudden be something that was happening, some statistics I read was that the number of children identified as having ADD or ADHD rose from 2 million in 1990 to 4.6 million in 1996, more than doubled in 6 years.
Have you ever read the symptoms of ADHD?
It sounds
we
like a
all
lot.
have them.
Certainly. An awful lot of the kids
we
I
all
had in
have
school.
them.
I live in fear of going to my doctor.
Right.
What will he discover
But we
today?
all have them.
Indeed. No, I don't, actually. I love going to my doctor. And, oh, there goes that hand going,
Huh?
it's time.
We'll come back to this, though, Helen. You and I have so much more on this.
Sorry.
Next time.
Indeed. We'll talk more about drugs next time.
With baseball.
Oh, yes. Let's roll that next thing. Well, speaking of vegetables, props to Jamie and his wonderful asparagus bed.
All right.
This is the third year of his asparagus bed, and he's been having wonderful asparagus soups and asparagus this and asparagus that, and it's fun. They like in a day they'll go from nothing to like that.
Oh wow!
It's an amazing vegetable, or I guess it's what is it?
It's
a fern, I think.
It's a fern.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
I've grown asparagus and then got to the point where I wasn't harvesting it regularly and got the ferns.
Oh, yeah.
And they were taking up space that I wanted for something else. So I chopped everything off, figuring that's the end of that. And I think we're now into the 4th year after the chopping off, and I thought nothing was happening this year. And I know we had this conversation about a week ago, and I said, nope, nothing's coming up anymore. I'm free now, I can plant my peas. Well, here they are, and they're that tall, and they just happened in like 2 days. And, but anyway, it's enough to add a little bit to a salad now and then. It's nice.
Yeah, I attempted an herb garden once, and then 3 days later, when it started sprouting, I got a cat, and that was the end of the herb garden. All my sprouts, knocked the dirt away, done. So I haven't grown anything since, even though I have all these seeds, I'm afraid, because he's still a menace. So my garden molds and seed inside. And there's like squirrels outside. I tried to grow something outside in my last apartment, and the squirrels got it, and the rabbits. It's not a neat idea.
Squirrels.
Now, because we're coming to the end of the quickly to the end of the show, does anyone have anything more to add about spring gardens? Because I want to get on to the next subject.
Oh, no, go right ahead.
Although my beans are doing very well.
Oh, yeah.
Ellen has lovely beans.
And the peas
And
taking
few
over from the
asparagus.
asparagus. So, okay.
All
My
right.
next
Roll
time
that
they'll
next
all be
topic.
harvested.
I was thinking of a kind of a sassier or a topic that wouldn't require much thought. something like things I wish I had thought of, or things I wish no one had thought of, or things that I wish someone would think of.
You're talking about inventions, is not opposed to things I wish I'd said.
Well, I think it's open to interpretation. Whatever.
I wish I had never said to Hitler, "You'd be a good leader." I don't know what
Look at this art school business.
Must have been drunk.
I never thought I'd have to invoke Godwin's law at the breakfast.
Hitler's art school profs probably told him, you should get into politics.
Should we wave and say goodbye for your
Yeah, we need to wrap.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Jane, why don't you take us out?
We're going out.
For lunch.
We thank you all for joining us for our breakfast meeting, and we bid you adieu till we see you on the show. Have a lovely next few days till Wednesday.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Indeed. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
We'll talk about my... Proving once again that I can't count, because we did that on Saturday, and it was several more days than 2. Anyway, so yes, this whole concept of things that... Go ahead, Ellen, it's your topic.
What's my topic? Well, and I said it wouldn't take much thought, but I did think about it. What is the one thing that I find very, very helpful, that every time I use it, I think, I wish I would have thought of that. And what came to mind was Velcro. Velcro, it has made life so much simpler, and certainly for children. Putting on shoes, not having to learn to tie shoes, and certainly for skiers and scuba divers and all of those people who have to get in and out of their outfits rather quickly. And I had always been under the impression that it was started by NASA for the space program.
It was Swiss.
It was a Swiss engineer
Yes.
whose name was Georges Lemaitre, and he saw
Took his
burrs
dog out.
on his dog,
Was it
and
hook
from
and
that got the idea that if the
Yeah.
burrs could stick to his dog's fur, couldn't he
hook and
make
loop.
something similar? Yes, the loop,
It's
the hook and
and
loop.
it's the same principle as the burr.
Yes, yes, and
Yes.
so he made lots of money out of it.
Yes.
Founded a company, and
So
but
we
it
all-
was the space program that really promoted it.
So we all need to go into the forest with our dog and
That's
see
exactly
what,
right.
see what
Yeah.
comes
Back
up,
to-
see what sticks.
Mona
next?
chasing the
What
ticks.
he didn't invent was something to easily remove the burrs from his dog, which
He
would
didn't
have
even
been-
think about that.
Right. Just clip them off, right? I would like something that you could put into your refrigerator that after food got moved back beyond the halfway point on the shelf, it would just automatically disintegrate and wind up in a very little container that you could then just empty.
Or at
Instead
least
of turning
like,
into a science fair project.
this is
back there,
gonna
right?
mold soon.
What was this?
Put it in a soup.
Because I have such good
Lots of
resolutions to
Yeah.
have a new refrigerator. I'm going to keep it clean. The shelves pull out. Why couldn't I keep it orderly? I can't.
just doesn't
Those
work.
things move back, and I
No,
look
they
at that
hide.
bag of what was that? Or a bowl that has, I'm sure a science fair project would be great. Just something that you could sprinkle back there that,
Would make it-
like a self-cleaning oven,
Oh, yeah,
a
self-cleaning fridge.
self-destroying old
Refrigerator.
food refrigerator. That's what I would like.
Wonderful. I would like an easy cat litter training thing.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
Yes.
For the Jamie says he tried to. Could you look over there? She's waving the. Thank you. I got it. But yes, I tried to urge Jamie to use one of those cat training things for for the cats to use the toilet, but he would have none of it.
Oh.
But
Because then you also have to teach them to flush the toilet.
Oh, I
or
don't
else
care
it
about-
just sits there all day.
Well, that's fine. It's in water. Just
I don't know about that.
that.
I don't know, yeah, they need to
The
flush.
cats actually use tutorial for elimination.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
training steps where.
Yes.
Yeah.
I long ago I tried it with a
Such a
cat.
bad thing.
I've seen
Well,
pictures
No.
of them.
There's like it fits over your toilet seat, and it's solid, and you fill it with litter, and you get them used to going into this thing, and then there are little concentric circles, and slowly you
Gets
start
wider.
you start taking the circles out till finally there's nothing but this gaping hole down into the water, and with patience, I'm told that it does work. I gave up.
Cats drowned, do you suppose, in the trial of
Maybe
losing
a
their
kitten.
balance?
Or maybe a kitten, though. But most
Yeah.
toilets aren't deep enough for that. I don't think.
Yeah,
Those
I
cats
No, I
really
don't
are
think so.
fast if they fall in.
That's
Yeah,
right,
they,
right.
They
they
get
touch water
they're
and it's
out.
like they got a rocket under there. So
I
true.
had a cat that used a chamber pot. We had an old chamber
That's
pot
pretty
in the
cute.
bedroom.
Really?
And you didn't train it to.
No, he just
Just one
squatted
day
there.
he went
pretty
in there.
amazing.
Yes, yes.
He smelled the remnants of ages past.
Oh, this is where we go.
I know what went on
Okay,
here.
Enough potty talk.
Anyone else?
Or inventions?
Yes,
Or
or
what you
just-
thought of? I kind of wish I would have thought, like, we have microwaves that make things hot very fast. Why can't we have something that makes things cold fast? Like
Oh, yes.
like the opposite of a microwave.
Without
kinda.
like dry freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Like you push a few
chill.
buttons and it
Right.
makes it as cold as you
Instantly.
want it. Yeah.
I think they have
true.
it for wine.
Do they?
That
They actually do, yes.
Yes.
We're
within-
down to
Fantastic.
3 minutes, and I want to make sure that we get to round up any sort of things. I just. Excuse me, I was having a little aphasia. It wasn't. It passed. On June 15th, a Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Reading Public Library, our mother organization, Shoestring, is doing a sort of edits and what did we call it? Outtakes of The Great Gatsby. Jamie actually has a folio of the original thing. And so we're putting together a program of different things from that so you can compare and contrast to what wound up in the book and what didn't, sometimes for good reason. 2 minutes. Hurry.
Okay.
So come on down. That's June 15th at 1 o'clock at the Reading Public Library main branch.
So the next
Oh,
next
yes,
show.
the next show, which is
Baseball,
July
17th.
17th.
9 o'clock.
9
o'clock,
Wednesday.
is going to be about baseball.
Lots of surprises.
Mark your calendar.
Lots of
Indeed.
surprises.
And if I can mention one other thing,
Yes.
on June 9th, at the Reading Public Museum, which is celebrating its centennial right now, the Reading Philharmonic Orchestra will be playing a concert. The Reading Philharmonic Orchestra has been playing outdoors at the museum for more than half of their century, and so we're going to have a special concert that afternoon celebrating their centennial.
Yes, wonderful.
Anything?
I was going to say also on June 15th is West Reading's Art on the Avenue. But that's a much longer period of time. So go to the museum and see the Gatsby thing, and then we're till the 9 p.m., 8 p.m. usually. It's all day street fair, vendors, artists, food, music. All the stores
Fun.
have deals and
fun.
a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
It's our neatest event of the year, absolutely.
You get to see everybody you know.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
And
really.
stop in to see Kira's book.
Oh, yes.
So, we thank you again for joining us here at That's What She Said, July 17th, baseball. It'll be amazing and wonderful. And
In Baseball Town.
Baseball Town, yes, we are in Baseball Town. I have to remind you, now that we're out and about, be kind to your web-footed friends, because that circus performer could be someone's mother.
Be kind to an ostrich, I guess.
Well, indeed.
We're not going to have
Yes.
ostriches on.
Are we going? I hope we get to see the ostriches. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful time. Have a great time till we see you. We'll see you in July. Thank you for joining us on That's What She Said.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.